Alright, now we're going to cover groups, IVRs, and prompts. And there's a few, there's going to be a longer one, so we're going to go to phone system. Going to go to groups. So this would be something you'd set up before doing your IVR menus or your phone trees. Any people are going to have their phones ring simultaneously. So for example, in this case, we're going to do one for sales. So if somebody listens to the phone tree, they hear, oh, yep, press 2 for sales, that's me. It's going to ring all the sales people. So we're going to call this group sales. And we're going to use the manager's email in this case. Okay, we're going to choose who's in it. 3 sales guys there. Okay, that one's ready to go. Now the groups behave just like a user with a couple of extra steps, so we do have to get rid of that just horrible greeting. So get rid of that and make it ring like a normal phone. Okay, they still do have hold music, so we'll save. For call handling, there's a couple extra steps. Our choices, I guess. During regular hours, by default, it's rotating, which means it's going to start at sales 1 if he doesn't answer. It's going to try sales 2 if he doesn't answer, sales 3. And then the next person that calls in, it will start at 2, go to 3, go back and forth. So we're going to get rid of that. It's going to be simultaneous. They're all going to ring together. After call wrap-up time is more of a call center thing, where they get a bunch of time afterwards to jottle down any notes or close a case. In this scenario, though, they have no time. As soon as they finish their call, they can take another one. So we'll hit save. And in wait settings, they'll have a few other settings that a user doesn't have, such as number of callers allowed in a queue. You can bump it up to 25. When it's full, send it to voicemail, or you can just say, it's too busy right now, disconnect them. Okay, all the tips of how long they'll wait in queue, all that kind of stuff. All right. If maybe only one person is in charge of the voicemails, you can send those voicemails there. So same thing, you'd record a greeting for that queue, and you'd say sales 1. He's going to be the guy who calls people back who've left a voicemail. That's his job. Okay. Now that we have our call queues, we can also make our park locations while we're in here real quick. I'm just going to do one of them. Normally do probably 2, I guess. But for now, we'll just do 1. Just call it Park 1. And yes, we're going to add the people who are in it. I'm just going to say everybody has access to this. Save. Yep. So it gives you a warning that you have to add it on their phones. I'll show you how to do that real quick. You can do it in the template as well. However, the receptionist, because they're the admin, we'd have to do it manually anyway, so I'll just quickly show you on them. It's the same as in the template. But we're going to go to phones and numbers, phones, and presence. That's what they call on the screen here. So you notice they have the people they call the most on here. This one's blank. We'll make that Park 1. Okay, so you notice the first 2 lines you cannot change. So if a phone only has 2 buttons, they're not going to be able to throw Park on there at all, or have other users. If a phone has 4 buttons, I would generally fill up the extra 2, so spots 3 and 4 here, I'd fill them up with Park 1 and Park 2, so that people can transfer calls easily. Okay, the other ones are people they're going to call the most. If I leave, it's a 6-button phone in this scenario, so if I leave that 6th one blank, they can make it their own. Once the phone's plugged in and booted up, they can hold down that blank key, we'll wait till it pops up a message, and as long as they fill out the label portion, so that's what they'll see in the screen, so maybe they call Pure Later all the time, so they'd label it Pure Later. And for the contact field, if they typed in Pure Later's number, that's it. Every time they press that button, it will call Pure Later. Now the reason why you'd want a park group for everybody is it's like hold that everybody can see. If I put a call on Park 1, I can tell anybody who's near me, I can say, hey, there's a call on Park 1, can somebody grab that? Or I could call that person's extension and say, hey, there's a call on 1, can you grab that when you have a chance? Thanks. All right, it's an easier way to transfer phone calls. But back to the phone system here and our IVR menu. So generally speaking, with the prompts, you're going to want to record those first. So thanks for calling, press 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for that. If you know your party's extension, dial it any time, and then maybe the business hours, something like that. Pretty straightforward how to record it. You'd click on your prompts library here, record prompts. If they have them that exist already, that's fine. Same rules apply though. It's got to be a WAV or MP3, which is fine if it's an older prompt. That's more than likely what they have it recorded as. Okay. However, to record a prompt, pretty straightforward. Have them call any number. Type your number in, have it call you. Name it something you're going to remember, like main. Okay. Doesn't matter for now. We'll cancel. You're going to open your IVR editor. That is for making new IVR menus. It's just a lot easier so you can see what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to hit launch. Now the reason why you're going to want to record your prompts first is when you launch this, it's actually going to open in a new tab, which means that you will not see any new prompts you record. So if I go back to the first tab, start recording prompts, I will not be able to see them in here until I close it and reopen it. So generally speaking, if I don't have my prompt recorded yet at this point, I'm just going to make it text-to-speech, which I will not ever let a customer use. I will make them record something. I'll even do it for them if I have to. The text-to-speech is just the worst in this scenario, so do not let anybody use it. Just put something there so you can save. So if you don't have, if it's the prompt is completely blank, it won't let you save. So do put something in. Okay, maybe they have a extension for reception, so extension 1 is going to receptionist. That's fine. Okay, and then maybe pressing 2 is going to go to sales. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a person, it can be a group. Okay, and then maybe pressing 3 goes to someone's voice or someone's cell phone. So you type a cell phone number there, and then pressing 4 maybe goes to just to the warehouse voicemail or something like that. Okay, so somewhere with the warehouse staff. So that in that case, it won't ring that phone, it just goes straight to their voicemail. You can type in any cell phone number there. Okay, but for now, we'll delete it and won't let us save. Okay, you can change these numbers to be whatever you want at this time or later. I'll show you how to do that. Once we're happy, we're going to hit save. It'll validate anyway, so you don't really have to click that. You just do that if you're building a large one and you want to check as you go. But in this case, we're just going to hit save. It's going to double check it for us. No errors, we're good. So we can close this window. Now that we have one made, it will show up in the IVR menus. So if the customers come back and recorded their own prompt, here's how they would update that. So they're going to go to main, prompt, and they're going to click audio, select their prompt, pick whichever one they've recorded. Let's pretend it's that one for now. That's it. Now that's the new prompt. As soon as they hit save, it's updated. That should be it for IVR menus.